Great job to our first two gamers of the day, but in the interest of getting things moving, we're going to start right with our next match. So please help me welcome to the stage from SK Telecom T1, we have PartinG. And joining him on stage, his opponent from Acer, please welcome Nerchio. So before this game can start, and I know we're trying to go quickly, but Carmack has a little bit of a surprise for you. So also please welcome to the stage, Carmack. We've got a sweatshirt here. Do you want to explain what this is?
Yes, this is Nerchio's Sick Nerd Baller hoodie. Over here we've got the Sick Nerd Baller. His fans have selected him, or the Intel Extreme Masters fans have given him the title for the Intel Extreme Masters Cologne tournament at Gamescom. So this is the time where he officially gets it. Nerchio, congratulations. Yep. Enjoy it. This is from the fans.
Nerchio, is there anything you want to say?
Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. It's going to look good on you. Gentlemen, let's get this game started. Shake hands. And it's all you guys now. I'm going to hand it over to the analysts.
All right, guys, so we have another pretty exciting best of three coming up. Harstem's super excited, jumping up and down in his seat because he gets to talk about Protoss, QXC. You can go have some water, maybe grab some lunch. We'll just like talk over you here, no
Sounds
problem.
Good.
PartinG versus Nerchio. What are we expecting to see here?
Immortal win. The Soul Train, man. It's gonna hit with the mothership core. It's gonna hit harder. It's gonna hit better. It's not gonna hit quicker, but it's gonna be awesome. I'm really looking forward to this.
Are we gonna see that in every game?
No, but like once. The thing with Immortal Win now is that because Hydra actually has a follow-up instead of in Wings of Liberty where you would build Hydras, hope you went air or like some kind of gateway all-in,
sure, yeah.
Then you would win. If you would have done anything except for that, you would lose the game. In Heart of the Swarm, it's a bit different. If you go like blind Hydras, Roach Hydra, you stop a lot of all-wins. Immortal all-win, +2 Blink Stalker all-win. The all-wins that hit after 9:30, something like that, when your Hydras are out. And you have a decent follow-up. You just get a 4th base, 8 gas, stack 2 Hive, and you just get Vipers out, make a timing push, get your 5th base, Ultras rolling. It's just, yeah, you actually do have a follow-up instead of just getting Hydras and dying against Colossi. So I'm really curious if we're going to see Nerchio use that. Nerchio is one of the only Zergs that like to use Mutas in Wings of Liberty. I think he used it against Creator at the WCS Global Finals. I'm not sure about it, but I think on Daybreak he won a game with it with a Mutas switch, and Mutas got extremely powerful in Heart of the Swarm. So we might see some Muta play from Nerchio. Nerchio always a very unpredictable player, can throw out an 8-ball, can throw out a Baneling all-in, Roach all-in, basically anything. Nerchio is a really complete player, so to say.
Right, well, let's see what these players can produce here. Of course, PartinG until recently was still playing in GSL, but since that, of course, he's been doing non-stop Heart of the Swarm. And of course, he's not still in it or anything like that, so he's been able to play for a little while now. Nerchio, though, maybe having a bit more practice time, we'll see if it produces a really close series. I'm looking forward to this, guys, so let's throw it straight over to our commentators for this match. We have Apollo and Kalaris.
Thanks very much, guys. Welcome back, as we now are already loaded up into our first game here. So I think we should probably just get right on into it.
Yeah, let's get straight in, not to miss any action immediately in the early stages of these games. So we have Nerchio currently ranked 1. Out of all of the IEM Season 7, he's currently ranked 1 going up against PartinG here.
Yep, and PartinG having come 3rd at Intel Extreme Masters Katowice, looking to try and put his mark on a potential 2nd World Championship.
That's right, so let's please jump into the game so we can begin this next game here. The next series of the day, it's going to be a good one, Nerchio versus PartinG.
Should indeed. Nerchio is one of those players that has always, time and time again, been very, very strong against Protoss. But PartinG, you can't doubt him. World champion, official world champion. Coming into Heart of the Swarm, how much has he prepared to be able to deal with Nerchio here?
Yeah, that's right. We talked about Nerchio being ranked 1 in the IEM, Season 7 finals.
Yeah.
PartinG's a world champion. He won the World Cyber Games last year. He won the Blizzard World Championship Series as well, so it's going to be a good game.
Should be. As we said before, Ohana is our first map, and we should be on into the game here in just a second, as we will now have...
Yeah, I mean, we've got a 14 spawning pool down already in the game. We've got a gateway opening for PartinG, so we should be jumping in any second now for you guys, so you can actually see what's going on there. We do finally get in.
Yep, so we do have spawning up to the top left-hand corner here as our blue Protoss. He goes by the name of SK2 PartinG. And spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner here as our red Zerg. He goes by the name of Acer Nerchio.
That's right, Aces Nerchio, a fantastic Wings of Liberty player. Won multiple tournaments, DreamHack, Home Story Cup, the Samsung European Encounter, Ministry of Win, you name it. Nerchio won a lot, and he was a very successful, arguably top 2 Zerg in the foreign scene. If you look at Nerchio and Stefano, those were the guys.
Yep.
But PartinG, he's the Soul Train King. You know, Harston nailed it before. Are we going to see it here? He hasn't had that much experience in Heart of the Swarm because he's been playing so much within practice for Pro League, practice for other scenes, because he's coming into Pro League shortly.
Yeah, it's a very, very scary thing that he has to go up against, as, you know, all of that, it requires rigorous training for Wings of Liberty, and, you know, here he's going for what looks like a very, very kind of a throwback build to, you know, a slower expansion here from PartinG, as Nerchio for now has his gas on the way, just getting that a little bit of gas out to go for his speed initially, but he's going to find a little bit of a poking room for the Zerglings. Stalker does deal with that, though.
Yeah, upon being slowed down on that, on the natural for building his hatchery, and combining that with the Overlord that saw the lack of Nexus, he immediately threw gas down here. So he should be, I feel, looking to get out of gas immediately, which he is going to, and just research speed straight away. Yeah. It's good defensively, it's good aggressively if there's weaknesses in PartinG's play, but PartinG's play at the moment is very much so a build that's come very common within Heart of the Swarm. Because of the Mothership core, you are able to harass and keep pressure on the Zerg player from the get-go with these kind of builds. You can wall off, of course, with the Sentry, you can pressure with the Stalker. If you build the Mothership core early on, you can even come across with the Mothership core as well, and keep the Zerg from taking a third base. In this game, though, he has to time out when speed finishes, otherwise he could be in trouble.
Very true. In fact, there's 12 Lings actually being produced here for Nerchio, so he might be looking for a little bit of an opening here, but if those gateways do actually complete and he gets enough reinforcements down in time, those Zerglings might not be able to do too much. It depends on whether or not we're going to see PartinG really produce a lot of units very quickly.
Yeah, he's got 250 gas in the bank. He needs to build nothing but sentries. He doesn't have a full wall off here. Nerchio's going to put the pressure on nice and early, and the thing is, though, we do have a Stalker on the Xel'Naga Tower. He does see this coming, or at least 4 Lings. Doesn't see more than 4 Lings, and the Stalker is going to have to retreat. We'll have to get back, but speed is seconds away from completing.
And behind all this, he's droning up, so trying to get his third up and running here. Nerchio, it seems as if this is a build designed for actually dealing with those relatively short, small Mothership pokes to try and, you know, say, well, I'm going to control the map. You're not allowed to move out for now. Admittedly, yeah, the Mothership can deal with Zerglings, but it takes so long to kill them off. By the time it would have killed off all the ground.
That's right. Colaris, 4 sentries. There's a lot of Lings coming in. Good force fields, good 2 force fields. The third one's used as well. 1 sentry's caught on the wrong side of the force fields, though, initially.
And
nice
he gets
push.
pushed through there, so very, very nicely done there by PartinG to save that. It's 37 workers to 34 right now. Zergling's going to try and run in once again here. Should be able to be pushed back by these sentries, and indeed they will, even saves his gas.
Yeah, so a lot of Lings made there by Nerchio, but not a lot done, as we do have a pylon been placed there. Mothership core is underway, another gateway, or 2 gateways should I say, 3 gateways inside the main base in total, 2 on the natural, 5 gateways, Mothership core coming down as well. This third base could be in a bit of trouble here if PartinG hits this.
Yeah, really, really could. He hasn't any idea about this pylon whatsoever. He's going to just start working straight on the rocks. That's not a bad option, but he ideally needs to know that that pylon is there. 3 more pylons behind this for PartinG going down, so really trying to free up that supply so he can put on the pressure.
And Nerchio now sees a probe moving out with that army, so he definitely wants to start building units here. He's building drones currently. And as soon as that Roach one finishes, I'm sure he's going to start to build a lot of Roaches. He does launch a counterattack, though. Is it a counterattack? Yes, it is.
Yeah, trying to find a little bit of weakness in his opponent's natural here.
Look at that wall, though. He's got a Zealot and a Pylon in the mineral line. That's a complete wall.
Yeah, and with that sentry down as well, he can't really breach any of that location. The Zealot's now going to go to work on this. The drone spots the pylon. That is not something these drones want to be spotting whatsoever. And even Roach is caught on the wrong side of the rocks in the Baron.
A couple of units do get warped in for PartinG back at home. It does supply block him, actually. So not too many more units are going to come out from this, but at the end of the day, PartinG will kill this third. That is a win for PartinG here. With a Mothership Core as well, he has Time Warp to slow down these roaches if they're not already slow enough off creep.
Yeah, and that makes it even easier to place down those force fields if he wants to just separate up these little contingents of units. Nerchio going to go for an extra base, but a nice capture of one of those queens. And PartinG, during all of this, getting his forge, getting his robo facility, pro production has begun once again. Nerchio trying to open up paths to be able to defend and attack.
And PartinG's got a lot of force fields available here, but he's got to be careful not to get surrounded. Once roach speed is out and he comes from multiple angles, Nerchio has a scary force here. And look at that, PartinG gets in there before the units actually get too high.
Oh god, those are really, really nice force fields, dividing and conquering. A lot of the zealots at the front do get taken down regardless because of the roaches in the back, but he's still pushing on forwards. He still has a lot of energy for force fields. He actually gets the gap closed there by a lot of those roaches, taking down some of the sentries, but still a lot of roaches have gone down.
Yeah, PartinG may be overstaying his welcome a little bit here. He doesn't want to stay for too long. I don't think he can kill Nerchio. With the amount of roaches coming out, especially with the roach speed coming too, he's going to be able to push PartinG all the way back. Where's the recall here? I'm very surprised to not see this.
Yeah, the Stalkers, they need to run back, get away from these roaches for now. Good kiting, though, will be able to focus down some of the weaker ones, as he does just catch another one of those Stalkers there. 3 more are on the way, though, so it looks like he's going to continue this, but the Mothership Core, so low, he has to be so careful with it.
Absolutely here, and the roaches do come through. PartinG microing really well here with his Stalkers, still doing a lot of damage. Queens have been lost in this, which means there's not that much lava back at home here for Nerchio. Still at 85, supplied at 82. There's no upgrades in this game, if I'm not mistaken, either.
And looks like, well, behind all of this, PartinG looks like he wants to claim a third base. He's pushing away the Overlord at his third with a Stalker, so should be able to get, oh, even a sentry. My apologies, let's look to the minimap, but still, oh, Time Warp, going to prevent that retreat quite nicely, getting a few extra volleys off, and that makes it really hard for Nerchio to continually pursue.
Yeah, and if you think of the trade-off that PartinG is giving here, he lost his sentries, he's lost some Stalkers, but at the end of the day, Nerchio's still on 2 bases. If we see Immortal production and back over to sentries again, he's going to fortify 3 bases versus the only 2 of Nerchio here, which is an amazing position to be in.
Yep, Nerchio, he somehow, someway managed to scramble out the hidden base, but as you rightly point out, it's not producing anything, it's not mining at all. He's trying to repopulate as best he can do at that third with the drones, but you know, it's with Protoss taking a third at exactly the same time, pretty much. Yeah, he's going to be in an okay spot.
Nerchio still really hasn't drawn towards his third base. It is a third hatchery, but not really a third base at the moment, at least. With 6 Overlords on the way, a little bit supply capped. We are going to see him start to build a lot more units, or at least drones here. He's got so much gas in the bank, working off 4 gases for such a long time off 2 bases here. Blink is on the way as well as +1 being chrono boosted out at this stage to try and get the upgrades going as fast as possible. No evolution chambers down at all for Nerchio here. He has no upgrades whatsoever, so the longer this game goes on, if he doesn't finish it relatively soon without looking long-term, he could be in a bunch of trouble here.
And putting on pressure in this mid-game here for Nerchio can be a little bit dicey with things like Photon Overcharge now at the disposal of Protoss, zoning out, making just that extra little bit of DPS harder for Nerchio to really breach any locations. So he's going to have a hard time finding the gaps in PartinG's play here, whilst PartinG just plays his standard Immortal production into +2 and Blink.
That's right, and the army he's got right now is very scary, even with just a single Immortal. He's got that +1 versus no carapace on these units. Hydras are being made, which will be good, but to be honest, they won't be the best in this game because he hasn't kept up with upgrades. The force fields will cut them up in half. They won't be able to do the damage necessary. But Nerchio is continuing to build units. His drone count's relatively low. At 64, he definitely could be higher at this point.
Yeah, he really could. PartinG has got himself in a really good spot here as well, actually catching a lot of those roaches, and they were completely misguided indeed. PartinG catching a lot of free damage there. Does get a few Stalkers for his troubles, though, and behind all of this, a lot of Hydralisks, a lot of roaches, as well as that Hydra speed in production here for Nerchio, so looks like he's really, really mid-game focused here right now, whereas PartinG, well, I mean, he keeps shutting it down.
Yeah, and, well, this is going to be very difficult for Nerchio to hold on to. The amount of force fields, remember there's Time Warp still available on that Mothership Core. There's not a lot of creep here connecting these bases, which means these units reinforcements will not come in at time, and very shortly there'll be +2 for these Protoss units versus 0-0 on the Zerg army.
even Zergling's putting on out here to try and bolster this army. Technically, yeah, there's not that many Zealots in PartinG's army, but as long as he has those force fields, he can easily zone out a lot of this. Guardian Shield goes up as well as some force fields. Time Warp as well to try and deny those Hydralisks on the side from really connecting with that Mothership, and he will be able to constantly zone out a lot of this army, but Nerchio's holding on for now.
And nothing but Stalkers should be made here from PartinG. He has Blink, he has +2. This is a magnificent position for him to be in. The Mothership core has run out of energy. Likewise with the sentries, but the pure amount of damage from PartinG's army, I feel maybe too much if he keeps on blinking well, which he is.
Yeah, the Mothership core does end up dying off during all of this, but he's still warping in more units. Second Immortal from the north, able to rendezvous along with this. The critical mass of Blink Stalkers now just microing back against these Roaches, and Hydralisk taking too many out, and he's 20 supply up right now. Nerchio is on the ropes.
And there's just more and more Stalkers will be walked in from this position. PartinG looking to take the first victory in this series. Remember, he lost versus Younglad not so long ago, so he's actually 0-1 loss in this tournament so far. A crucial game here.
It does actually finish up the Spire during all of this, but will it even matter? Still more Hydralisks in production. He's still trying to shut down this basic gateway Immortal composition that is just plaguing him to no end. As for now, it's even pushing into this pseudo third base, trying to kill this off. There's all the units trying to rally forwards, but again, critical mass Blink Stalkers, you're not going to take them out this easily.
That's right, and these Stalkers should be able to give PartinG the victory. A bit of a misblink there, but I don't think it matters. Drones are coming off, and Nerchio, despite winning his first game of this tournament, going 2 wins to 1 loss, I don't think it's going to work here.
Not at all. 45 supply up. GG for game number 1. SK-T1's PartinG looking very strong there.
Looking really good. Looking really good. Great pressure, great control, great execution.
Yeah, can't really say much more than that. So, guys, I think we'll end up sending it over to our analysis desk to say what they think about game number 1.
All right, guys, welcome back. That was a pretty entertaining game number 1 there, and a very nice final push there from PartinG. Harston, what did you make of that game?
Sorry?
What did you make of that game? Like, important point.
I think the 5-gate pressure was really good. Even though there was no Mothership core initially with it, so it was a little bit hard for PartinG. No time warp. He didn't use it for a long, long time. I think he should have used it a little bit earlier as well in the push, but he did kill the third base, so he knew he was in a good spot, but then he wanted to finish. I think if he would have switched out of it a little bit earlier, check his third, see if there's an Overlord, and then maybe contain his opponent with 2 sentries down the ramp, something like that. With the Mothership core, it's really easy to spot on top of the high ground, and then to just force field if he comes out, or just recall back. Yeah. And then you have a third base with like 2 Immortals, and he only has Roaches. So
how important was it that the pylon at the third was there?
I think it was really important that he already had a pylon out. Normally the thing is with pushes against Zerg, it's so time dependent. Like if he sees it, he has Larva stocked up, he can just build 25 Roaches, something like that. But those Roaches take 30 seconds like to get out and group up, maybe 45 seconds. And if they aren't grouped up, Roaches aren't that good, like they need to come together. Yeah. And building a pylon takes 25 seconds. So if you had to go out on the map, it takes like 15 seconds, then build a pylon, wait for it to finish, for the reinforcements to come, it's 40 seconds. So the Roaches have time to group up. What he did right now was he just moved out 15 seconds, then had his first warp in near his army, so it reinforcements after like 20 seconds. There were no Roaches out at all, and then he just was able to kill the third immediately. Yeah. So I doubt if he would be able to kill the third otherwise.
Did PartinG have... PartinG didn't have an observer with the initial 5-gate pressure, right?
No.
So what do you think if Nerchio had gotten Burrow Tech, because he could have researched it before the layer finished?
I think against Gateway Expand, it would be a good idea to get Burrow, because if they're going to do pressure with Gateways, they won't have a Robo ever. And Burrow is pretty good, like in general, because it gives regeneration, and it basically shuts down all Gateway pressure. So I think it's a good idea to get it, but on the other hand, it's a bit of a gamble, because if he doesn't do any pressure, you just wasted a ton of minerals, especially gas, and gas in the early game is really expensive for a Zerg.
All right, guys, so it looks like we're going to be heading into the lobby in just a moment here, just waiting for the last few spectators to join. In the meantime, don't forget to tweet and hashtag IEM. We are here checking Twitter with us on stage at the moment at the analysis desk, so feel free to tweet at any one of us as well. Harstum, Cole_QXC, and Jorasar. We will be checking those out and replying to some of your questions on air. For now, though, guys, it looks like we are about to hop into game number 2. So to introduce this, we're going to be popping it over to our commentators. Hello, Apollo and Kalaris.
Thanks very much, guys. As we will have now game number 2 here for this series. Nerchio and PartinG. PartinG looked so damn good. How is Nerchio really going to be able to pull this back?
That's a question that only really one person can answer, and that's going to be Nerchio himself on the front stage here at the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship. $100,000 on the line throughout this. Everybody gets paid all the way down to 24 players, but how much and where are they going to finish?
So we are loading in onto Newkirk City here for game number 2. Nerchio here versus PartinG. Let's go on to game number 2. As we do have spawning down to our bottom right-hand corner here as our red Zerg. 1 game down. He goes by the name of Acer Nerchio. And spawning in our bottom left-hand corner here as our blue Protoss. 1 game up, performing very, very well on Ohana. How will he do on one of the newer maps? He goes by the name of SK-T1's PartinG.
That's right. Both of these guys have had an amazing run. If you look at their results, really, in the Intel Extreme Masters Season 7, PartinG kind of came into the scene a little bit later this year, or should I say last year, to be honest, with the events, and this year for the Polish one, where he finished top 4. A great finish for his only tournament, and it's the only reason why he's here today playing in the World Championships. Compared to Nerchio, though, what a boy, what a season he's had with you.
Yeah, he really has. Placing 2nd at the very first during Gamescom to MVP, no less. And then from there on, not too bad finishes as well. Kind of fell a little bit short in Katowice.
Especially in his home country. You know, definitely should have been, or at least personally looking to finish a little bit higher than 9th to 12th.
Yeah.
But he did also win Home Story Cup 5, which of course accumulated to the point system and ranking system here today. And that's how both of these players landed here in Group A with a solid, a great set of players they have to play against. You know, Hazuobs is in this group. We've already seen Lucifron and Slivko go at it as well. A very difficult group here to begin the first day here at the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship. And as Jaroslav said, if you want to join in the discussion, get tweeting away. Go to Twitter, #IEM.
Yeah, you can tweet us at Kyle Larson, at Apollo SC2 as well, as we are always reading the tweets. Unless we're casting, of course, as for now we do still have PartinG being oh so annoying with this initial drone, blocking off Nerchio there, doing a good job of the opportunity cost, even behind all of this, grabbing himself the Nexus, getting himself that Forge, so standard Forge fast expand to kick things off.
Yeah, straight to Nexus, straight to Forge here, just looking at a relatively normal Wings Liberty build, but also a relatively normal build in Heart of the Swarm as well. This is very common as well, just keeping up with the same build. It's always focused on your economy and then getting down tech or something along those lines. We'll have to see what PartinG wants to build for himself here. And with Nerchio winning multiple tournaments, as mentioned earlier, PartinG with his wins, the one tournament he's never won, which I'm sure he wants to, is Codes GSL. It's the only thing he hasn't won before.
Yeah, so true. It was looking all right for him during this season, but then going out into the round of 8, not the best of starts for the later stages of that tournament. But here in the Intel Extreme Masters now, just sending out, well, Nerchio here just sending out a ton of lings, looking for anything that may be hidden, sees that probe, so he should be able to hunt it down eventually, but taking his 3rd very quickly off the back of this.
Nerchio hasn't had that much experience in Heart of the Swarm yet. If you or for any of you watched his MLG showdowns against Baby Knight, he was not in form. And whether he's improved himself since then, we'll have to see. He did open up against Yonghwa, sorry, not against Yonghwa, against Hazuobs, with a 2-1 victory. And Hazuobs has been playing so much Heart of the Swarm. He's been top 50 Grandmaster pretty consistently.
Even top 20.
Even top 20. And he's really one of the finest Protoss players out there, outside of Korea, definitely, in Heart of the Swarm. And for Nerchio to be able to bring him down 2-1, that kind of puts a statement out there that maybe Nerchio is prepared for this tournament.
Yeah, potentially. Very, very strong here as, well, going up against PartinG, he's another monster in himself, gotta say. PartinG has actually won, Nerchio has won a lot of money. He's won around like 80,000 or 70,000, something like that. PartinG's won around double that. He's won like 173,000, so pretty impressive.
Money. And most of that money was actually made within 1 to 2 months, actually, last year, around October, November time. A lot of money he did make there. But we do have +1 coming down here for PartinG. He did scout the 3rd base of his opponent, and he's elected to go for +1 here. It's straight into a Twilight Council. Very, very fast here, and that's even fast. Looking at that timing, that's even too fast of a Twilight Council to go into +2.
Yep.
Could be the new Dark Templar.
Yep.
Behind it, looking to go +2, you know, shortly after. And that's what I think it's going to be, to be honest. I'm going to put my money with Dark Templar in this game. It's a little bit cheaper than it used to be.
And with the pylon placement, it's well out of the way, very hidden to try and get that going. And, you know, I mean, you play Zerg yourself, going up against Protoss. How easy in Heart of the Swarm is it really to deal with this kind of Dark Templar play at this time?
It is a little bit easier because, unlike Wings of Liberty, you do not need an evolution chamber to build a Spore Crawler, so you are able to react a little bit easier here. But the problem is, because it's cheaper, you don't. It's harder to see for Nerchio, because if he checks the natural gases, they don't necessarily need to be taken here early, and they're taken at a late time here for usual DT Wings Liberty play. And I think that QXC nailed it in the opening, in his wonderful 2-hour discussion, is that in Heart of the Swarm, if you don't know your timings, you aren't going to make it to the mid game.
No, not at all. Ling's going to catch 1 or 2 Stalkers here to be able to shred those up, but I mean, the layer is now on the way, so that should actually finish, and he should be able to get an Overseer out. But again, if 3 DTs are whacking away at a hatchery, that is going to die guaranteed before an Overseer is actually morphing in above it.
And Nerchio must be like, what are you doing? Why are there pylons coming down everywhere? What are you looking to do? And I wouldn't be surprised if he just made an Overseer in an instant here.
Yeah.
Something's not right here in Nerchio's mind for what PartinG's trying to do. PartinG is already, you know, thinking of a backup plan, and the Robo's coming down. This isn't working for him. He didn't get an aggressive pylon down. If he's going to warp DTs, it's going to be defensively from his main base. And all of a sudden, PartinG's like, well, this just sucks.
Yeah.
And he's probably just going to take a third base and play from here.
And I was sort of expecting this from Nerchio in Game 2. Going for that Spire Mutalist play can be super, super strong. Nerchio was already a high proprietor of Mutalist play in Wings of Liberty, but now swinging into this in Heart of the Swarm, they can be very, very deadly if you're not prepared for it.
And Nerchio has controlled the Xel'Naga Tower. He sees it. He sees it, and immediately morphs 3 to 4 Overseers. Perfect reactions here from Nerchio to come back from this game. I mean, he's currently down 0 to 1 against PartinG. You opened up so explosively on Ohana, but this is just not going to work.
Keen eyes seeing that blur there. 4 Overseers spreading themselves out across every single location. The Dark Templars might get a few Zergling kills, but not much else. Not even a Zergling kill at this base.
There's an Overseer at every single base. The main, the natural, the third. There are units on every single base. And to be honest, I think we're going to have to look at the units killed, or the drones killed very shortly here. And, well, 1.
Oh, and he just barely did not go into the main to see the Spire, so he still has no idea that that is going down. He's getting the Mothership Core and the +2 weapons behind that, but will he have the contingency plan behind all of this to deal with the Mutas?
The one thing that, against Mutalist play, he does have the option to play for Archons. He does have, or does he have, the Mothership Core. He does, but it doesn't have enough energy for the Photon Overcharge here. This Mutalist play is about to catch PartinG at his very weakest. From failed DTs over to Robotics Facility, a mortal play. He has nothing really that shoots up.
And it's a really good point that you make at his weakest, because even with Archons, they just don't really reach Mutalisks too easily. They're very, very fast, very, very hard to get around. And, you know, the Sim City for Protoss can hinder Archons getting back and forth.
Exactly, and if you think of sentries, they're like Ghostbusters, because they just have this little laser beam that just shoot up, but the damage is not high enough.
Yes, this is very true. This is very true indeed. As for now, he's still getting a few more bases. Spines are actually going down to try and bolster the defenses here for Nerchio as the Mutalists fly on in. Oh, good God, Apollo, it's going to be a massacre.
It's a bit of a problem here for PartinG. He's losing supply, he's losing probes, he doesn't have Blink, he doesn't have Stalkers. This is not good.
This is not good at all. The Ghostbusters not out on force, not going to be able to thwart those Mutalisks. Getting a lot of kills, 12 kills in total. Carapace going down behind this. Extra Mutalisks on the way to rebolster that. And, you know, Blink is on the way now. This is the plan that he wants to use in reaction to actually seeing all of this. But, you know, damage has already been done to a certain degree.
Yeah, I mean, he's already lost a lot. If you look at that, 56 probes to 70 drones at this point. And it's very easily possible for Nerchio just to continue to build Mutalists. They're faster, they're stronger here, they regenerate. You can do damage to them, but in a couple of seconds' time, they're back to full hit points again. But this is nice from PartinG. Despite being down, hurting, and falling behind in this game, he's able to squeeze out a Dark Temple that stops this 4th base from being mined from.
No, and that's not too bad a situation at all. I can't believe he's actually managed to make that work out, especially with how many Overseers we saw Nerchio producing there, trying to find holes in the defenses if you're parting. Once again, Blink is going to finish very soon, but he's actually going to push in from a 2nd position here, bringing down that Forge, denying +3 from being finished, and we'll be able to take that down effectively.
The one disadvantage in this game, no Zergling speed, no Roach speed, no Roach or Zergling upgrades. It's all about Mutalisk play. If PartinG can build enough of an army and hit before any tech switch comes in or before the Mutalisk hit a critical amount, then he could still win this game, especially because he has +2. +3 being cancelled, that hurts a lot.
Yep.
These Mutalisks only have +1 carapace. The upgrades are heavily in favor. If there's Archon sprinkled in here, the sentries with their Guardian Shield as well, it's still possible, but that's what Nerchio's anticipating with this Spinecrawler wall.
He has to bolster those defenses. He has to make sure that this army cannot really breach during all of this. And again, technically, he could just kind of expand up to the top left-hand corner or something like that and force some kind of base trade scenario. Very, very similar to what we saw in Wings of Liberty, because even with the blink, he's still doing a lot of damage to probe lines.
And if he loses too many Mutalisks here, we could very easily see PartinG just go and oh dear me, I think this is kind of bad for Nerchio, but as I look in the units tab, there's still 26, 27, and they will all regenerate by the time PartinG makes his move across the map here. And I think he has to go shortly. That's the only thing PartinG has working for him, is building a big enough army where he can take the fight to the Mutalisk, but can that ever work?
He's just not stopping. 7 more are on the way. He's going to be rocketing up to 30 or 40 Mutalisks very, very soon, and with that, speed has been started here for the Zerglings as well. And these Stalkers, they're trying to combat it, and they do get a lot of Mutalisk kills, but Nerchio doesn't care. He's just going for Stalkers, doesn't care.
Nerchio's not trading the best at the moment. If you look at the units lost tab, he's starting to lose quite a bit to these Stalkers, which are heavily upgraded. There is not another Forge. There has not been another Forge brought down here, which means, for me, that I think that PartinG may move out, but can he really move out is the problem. Spines, counterattacks, Lings, the base trade. And there's the Forge.
Yeah, it's on the way here. Once again, blinking down, trying to catch some of these Mutalisks where he can. The Mutalisks do kill off a lot of Stalkers once again, but as you rightly said, the resources lost tab, it's still in favor of PartinG here, but Nerchio has been able to mine more.
That's right. That is right. Nerchio's got so much money, man. He's been able to mine for such a long time off 5 bases now. He's got a lot of gas. More Mutalisks are on the way. 1-1's about to complete for them. So it's starting to edge in favor of Nerchio with these upgrades, but look at that army. It's so strong at +2.
And those 3 Archons really do pack a punch here. The Mutalisk is going to fly on in once again. They want to do some damage where they can. Getting pylons would be very, very nice. In fact, that one pylon powering about 4 gateways, despite a ton more pylons being around it, and killing off so many probes, but it looks like base trade is in full effect.
It's going to happen here, and the thing is that Nerchio will go down and just cripple PartinG. He'll cripple his economy. He'll kill every probe, and then when he builds enough and has bought enough time, he'll go back and take the fight.
He really will. This looks like he's going to be able to take down a lot of these spine crawlers. They'll go down quickly, but, you know, the Mutalisks, they have to just continually dance around behind all of this. The spine crawlers are going to go down, and PartinG's just trying to make as many cannons as he can at his expansions here. But I don't really think that's going to hold.
It's not going to hold. Actually, looking at that's quite a few cannons there with Archons too. It may hold, but he still can't mine because the cannons are out of position. The Mutalisks can fire from the high ground. Yep. Eventually, Nerchio will come home to fight this. He's got 1,000 gas in the bank. If somehow he can get up to another 1,000 minerals, that's 10 more Mutalisks available. So he has a world of options for himself. And as you can see, this 3rd base, actually the Archons get some really good hits off, but unfortunately in Heart of the Swarm, the regeneration will put these over to full health again.
Yeah, Photon Overcharge trying to deal with some of those Mutalisks, but no siree, he just goes straight to another Nexus. A little bit of an assault, continuing down here at the 2nd and 3rd of Nerchio, trying to do the damage where he can, but again, Nerchio's economy is still looking way, way better than PartinG's here. He still has 700 minerals incoming per minute, so he's going to be able to make a lot more Mutalisks behind this, and he should be able to clean up.
PartinG has 1 probe, and that probe is with his army. He doesn't have enough to build anything. He has a pylon in the middle of the map. That's it. So Nerchio has a couple of ways to win this game. He can either just eliminate all the structures, or eventually, once his Mutalisks heal up, 27 of them can go and take a fight. We'll see. As 106 applied, 27 Mutalisks versus 3 sentries, 27 Stalkers as well.
Yeah.
A lot of gas still available, so as mentioned before, if Nerchio can squeeze out extra minerals, he can increase his Mutualist count.
I guess all Nerchio would really have to do would be to actually, actually he's killing off Overseers, so he may be just trying to hope for DTs eventually at some point. He does have one on the map, but I think that's really going to make a massive amount of difference. And the Nexus
picks
will
off that
fall.
pylon, the cannons are dead anyway, so...
Oh yeah, bye-bye.
And now it would turn. Nerchio's options are, definitely base trade now. Just kill off all the structures. He's got 2 hatcheries in the top left, which have been spotted by PartinG.
Yep.
And Nerchio is scared to take the fight. Remember, if he loses this, he loses the game. So this is not just this game, this series.
Yeah, I guess, again, the way in which he really does this is kill off a few Stalkers, retreat back, try and heal up some. Of course, he'll lose Mutalisks during all of that, but... Well,
now the Mutalist bites the dust there, down from 27 to 24, is that now? 24, so they are coming down, and nothing's really been lost here for PartinG.
And still, he does have a lot of buildings left over, so the Mutalisks don't really kill the buildings that fast, so if he keeps camping, he should be okay. 2 Archons, relatively vulnerable.
Yeah, these Archons and Sentries definitely going to be taken apart here, all the Stalkers, and this just changes the complete game.
Yep,
no longer are the Stalkers going to be able to be supported by the Archons.
Oh, but they blink forwards. Actually, the Mutalisks take a lot of damage to that Archon splash there and will be able to chase it on back. If he can continue to chase, he should be okay, actually.
Wow. This army from PartinG can actually beat these Mutalisks now. Yep. I definitely feel it. Nerchio has to play for the base trades.
Do the Stalkers beat the Mutalisks with drone support? How many drones does he actually have out? I think they all died. Oh, no, he has 21 drones.
The Archon would do so much splash.
Yeah.
PartinG wins in a heads-up fight now. The option to go for the Archons was great. That was a really nice decision. But the Stalkers got back in time.
Oh, wait a minute. How many buildings does he actually have left? Oh, he has 1 gas, actually.
He has an extractor and a hatchery left.
Yeah, okay. So should be able to continue this game, as for now the Stalker's trying to find a good position here just to not only defend but also assault, and it can be very difficult against Mutas.
Oh, and he picks off the Archon and the Sentries. No Guardian Shield, no Archon anymore, just Stalkers. Can this game really get any closer here?
A Guardian Shield is massive. Soaking up triple bounces of Mutalisks is huge. So Nerchio still does have gas extractors everywhere. But PartinG's too afraid to move out because if he leaves this side of the map, he's going to be assaulted by the Mutas.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Mutalisks do take a bit of damage from these Stalkers. 23 Stalkers.
The DT. Well, he does have 2 Overseers, and he's trying to make another hatchery, but the DT could go around and hit off some of those extractors quite quickly.
I don't think Nerchio's even thinking about that DT. Maybe, no, he sees it. I think maybe he saw it. I'm not too sure. He does have Overseers, though, protecting everything in Overseer with his army.
And he had vision with the Watchtower as well, so even if, one of the units hadn't passed across that, he could have seen the blur via just looking around.
Incredibly close here, and there is the...
No, thank you. I'll go somewhere else.
And looks like Nerchio's going to come in here. This blink will be ready in a couple of seconds' time here. Going to do a bit of damage, bring the shields down, and a little bit of hit points. Doesn't want to lose any Mutalisks from this stage. It's very crucial not to do so.
Oh, PartinG has actually split up his Stalkers here. He's sent 1 pack into the middle of the map whilst he's actually engaging with this pack. Good blinking back here by PartinG. He's actually doing a pretty darn good job of trading with these Mutalisks if he can kill a lot of them off, whilst he's actually moving over the other side with the other Stalkers. But then again, separating them might have just cost him quite a lot.
Look at that. Nerchio's going to pick off the Stalkers, and that's going to be it. Nerchio's going to be able to pick up this game. I mean, half of his Stalkers are on the other side of the map. Nerchio obviously noticed that, went in. 8 Mutalisks versus 11 Stalkers now. And everything's revealed for each other. It's a race of time.
Yeah, there's only 1 Overseer left. If PartinG can find that, but he has to be very, very careful as well. The DT is going to start whacking away at that 1 extractor. He has, 1 extractor left down to the very south.
Nerchio's about to get eliminated. That DT's heading right towards that last extractor. That's all that's left.
This 1 hero DT has survived through all odds.
There's too many structures for PartinG. PartinG's going to win. There's just too many structures for the Mutalisks to kill.
Even the drone's coming off now. Nerchio realizes he's in a lot of trouble, and that 1 extractor, as it goes down, that is going to be it. PartinG is going to take the series 2-0.
He's got no drones. The last drones were killed off. No extractors can come down. Oh, wait, did he... He has a couple of drones at the top left. I didn't even notice them.
No, they were just running around wherever they want. He's now producing a few more extractors, but he gets a good trade with some of the Mutalisks there. He only has 7 to the 11 Stalkers.
He has 1 drone and 1 extractor. That's it. The extractor at the top left where the Stalkers are, and 1 drone, new extractor in the middle of the map.
That is it. The Mutalisks also sacrificing themselves once again, microing back and forth, but the blink is too much here. PartinG takes it. GG for game number 2.
Wow. That was a series and a half. That was a series and a half.
Not half, my friend, not half. That was PartinG able to take that second game where it looked a little bit desperate there, but he made some very impressive decisions.
Yeah, and PartinG picks up his first win of the Internal Extreme Masters World Championship here, having lost his first game. Now both of these players are 1 win, 1 loss.
Yep. So guys, we are going to send it over to our analysis desk for game number 2 to see what our jolly good friends over there have to say.
Well, that was certainly a really exciting game there. Very close towards we're going to talk about the base trade in quite a bit just now once we get the replay to that point. But an interesting opening from the players, and of course we should really talk about what led up to Nerchio able to do so much with his Muta follow-up.
So we saw the start by PartinG. He tried to go for 4-gate DT, trying to fake some kind of 4-gate pressure, but he didn't get any pylons up. The goal with this build is you get 1 pylon up, warp in 2 or 3 zealots, or maybe even 4 zealots. If you get it up really early, you warp in like 2, 3 zealots, and after that the next warp in is going to be DTs. If a Zerg is being pressured, he won't think, oh, I'm getting 4-gate zealot, there's probably going to be DTs. There's no Zerg that ever thought that. Like, they're all going to be like, oh, nice, zealot, not going to be DTs, and they won't make spores. They might even delay the lair, but that's not very common. But it's going to be really hard for the Zergs to immediately react. And after the 4-gate pressure kind of failed, PartinG sent out 3 DTs across the map, and Nerchio spotted them with the watchtower. And I think you made a really valid point by saying that Nerchio knew that something was up after the initial 4-gate pressure, because he didn't really do anything with it, and he was a bit more reactive to just certain all-ins or certain secret strategies by PartinG. And so now we're at the part of the replay that we want to show.
Yeah, let's go. Let's hop into the game and take a look here. This is the sort of start, if you like, of when the base trade started occurring. QXC, why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on here?
Well, we were talking a little bit about strategically what Nerchio really needed to be doing here. And Harsem pointed out the spine crawler placement just wasn't really what it needed to be.
Yeah, I feel like this spine crawler placement, it doesn't really defend anything properly. Like, it kind of defends the natural and it kind of defends the third base, but it doesn't really block the stalkers from going anywhere. I would have much rather seen Nerchio just sack this area, so the area between the natural and the third, and either build 15 spine crawlers over here, so on top of a ramp, or even in his main base. So he has a safe zone where the stalkers can't come, like forever, because you're not going to be able to blink into 15, 20 spine crawlers. Right. If he would have put them on top of the main ramp, he would have never been able to do that. So I feel like yeah, that was the main reason why Nerchio actually lost this game. Of course, the base trade after it, there were a few small mistakes by both players, but I feel like this was the main reason. So I think we're going to go into another series, or?
I think we might do in just a bit, but no, that's really good points there you make on the replay. I think that earns PartinG, of course, his win over Nerchio.
Yep.
That was, despite the scoreline, it's Nerchio actually played that reasonably. It's not like he came in and PartinG walked all over him. It was definitely not that at all. And despite the 2-0 there, actually, I think Nerchio he's got a point to prove in this tournament.
Yeah, I think Nerchio played quite well in this series. Slight strategic adjustments, possibly transitioning out of, well, transitioning at least, if he's going to stay on mutas for that long, it seemed like he needed a better follow-up when he was going, because he was constantly poking and aggressing and possibly baiting the base trade. But then when the base trade happened, he just wasn't ready for it the way that it seems like he should have been because of the strategy he chose.
Yeah.
I felt like his Evo chambers were a little bit late as well. I think I saw one go down like 15 minutes. He only had the +1 on his links. His link speed was, I think it started at 14 minutes in game.
So late.
No link speed at all. And links are a great use. You can counter all the time, and They're just amazing to use with Mutas, and there was no real switch, like you mentioned before. He didn't really have the money to get a ton of spine crawlers,
Right.
so he couldn't really switch to ultras, I guess. But
He was, because when his Mutas came out, he was like, okay, I have map control now. You went DTs, it didn't do anything. I've got Mutas, boom, straight up to 5 base gas. And he was dumping all of his gas into Mutalist. And then it seemed like he kind of forgot that there were other units.
yeah,
And upgrades and things. He was like, what do I need speed for? Like, I'll just make more Mutalists. If I don't get speed, then I get another Mutalisk, right?
I mean, there were points as well in that game where we were talking about it during how going into the mid game, there were even points where the Mutalisks were sort of coming in to engage Stalkers, and we were thinking, exactly at what point does this become an overcommitment? And it felt like Nerchio was pushing quite far, to be honest.
Yeah, it felt like Nerchio, he knew he had an advantage. He knew he was playing pretty well. And he got a little over-eager to finish the game.
yeah. I think with the first 12 Mutas, I think he just won the game. Like, it was like, okay, this game is over. I'm just gonna play it out. No Evo Chamber, no speed, no nothing. And then all of a sudden, PartinG had like 25 Stalkers for 5 cannons at his third base, so he couldn't kill that with slow links and a few roaches. And yeah, it got pretty scary for Nerchio in a short amount of time.
Exactly. All right, guys, so that concludes that particular series here, but of course we have more, another best of 3 coming up after this commercial break. You are watching the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship live from CeBIT Hanover in Germany.